What's going on, guys? My name is Eldeniro and welcome to episode 28, I think, of my Leicester City career mode on FIFA 15. We're starting this episode off with a little bid for Nathaniel Klein, whose contract does expire at the end of the season, and I could get him on a pre-contract agreement. But I'm a little bit apprehensive about doing so because, as you can see, he's on a 45 grand wage, and I feel like once that bid is made, that wage is allocated towards the... it is. Yeah, that takes it out of your wage budget instantly, and we just need the wages. So Mark Albrighton goes to Valencia. We kind of figured that would happen in the last episode after they did agree to our negotiations and things like that. So with Albrighton gone, Knockaert is going to be on the right hand side for now, which should make a lot of you guys happy. A lot of you guys actually really like Knockaert. I like him a lot as well in real life, more so than in the game, because in the game he just doesn't really do it for me. Maybe he's just not fast enough, I'm not too sure. But I have a question for you guys at the start of this episode as we start off the game against West Ham, in terrible fashion actually, because Andy Carroll takes on the ball. He plays it to Ener Valencia and his shot gets deflected off John Stones and goes into the back of the net to give the hosts an early lead. But my question is, as we approach 30k on my channel, which is incredible by the way, I'll probably do some sort of question and answer video for 30k or something along those lines, because I'm copying Chinese sports basically, it seems. But my question is, when did you subscribe to me? Because the views on this series have been insane, like the most consistent views and the highest views I've ever had on my channel, as Jeffrey Schlupp equalizes in the 29th minute. And I was just wondering, was it a mixture of old and new subs or what? Like, what's going on? I don't know. When did you sub to me? That's going to be a nice comment section to read after, I think. But in the half-hour mark here, you see Stones and Ante, like, we're passing it out of our defence, basically, trying to get a move going. Now, Danny Simpson surrenders possession to Koyate, who plays it to Morrison, who plays it to Valencia, who goes to Morrison. He plays it into Andy Carroll, who finds the back of the net. Now, I was just sitting here infuriated at the fact that the camera angle never switched to the right hand side, but then I quickly learned that it was because the linesman was there with his Leicester City flag waving it in the air, and Andy Carroll's goal was ruled out. But we came forward through Gary Gardner with a shot in the 40th minute, and I only did that and I only put that in just to show that nobody was running forward despite me playing on the attacking mentality. And I don't know why players don't do runs like that. I know you can go into your tactics and you can tell players to do runs, but I find that actually doesn't really do anything at all. I'm always telling Dwight Gale to stick to the middle and to always run forward, and he never does either of those things. So I'm pretty sure that all of those tactics that they put in were just completely made up, and that's that, and they just made them up for the laugh, really. And it's the same with the emotional thing. Remember they said all of this stuff like, oh yeah, there's going to be all of this emotional stuff on the pitch and players can feel emotions and everything, but that was just a complete and utter lie. I've never seen an example of it in any game ever. So that's how that game went anyways. West Ham all over us here in the 90th minute, pressing for that second goal. The ball does come to Koyate, who a few people have said to sign, and I do agree, like, he's very fast, he's very good with his interceptions and his defensive stats, but he's only got something like 57 passing, and that's just not good enough for me. Like, I need players who can pass the ball better than that. We escaped from Upton Park with a draw, which I would have taken before the game, because as you guys know, I hate playing against West Ham because they're so fucking good in this game. But Arsenal rejected our bid for Wellington Silva. I made an offer of 2 million. No, did they reject it? No, this was the first bid I ever actually made for him. And Hull City said that they wanted 4.1 million for Thomas Ince. So I bid 3 million for him because I thought, like, fair enough, you know, that's how it goes about doing it. Nathaniel Klein, our bid for him was rejected. I just cancelled the offer. I figured I'd worry about that later. I'll worry about getting a right midfielder in for now. So I bid 5 million for Andros Townsend, and the Leicester City board have told me that they have transfer listed Matty James, and they expect me to care for some reason. But this, more importantly here, Sunderland have gone and approached Thomas Ince, who I'm now going to refer to as Tom Ince because that's his actual name. But that's really annoying. Every time you go for a player on this game, another team comes in for him. It's not as if Sunderland even need him because they've got Johnson. But our next game is away from home against Cambridge United, and this is in the FA Cup third round. Obviously, Cambridge's team is actually decent enough. There's a few players in there I do genuinely recognise. But this is interesting for me because last year... Was it last year or was it this year? It was this year. Was it? Yeah, I think this year I was in Cambridge and in Leicester. at like around the same trip in England that I had, because one of my pals used to live in Cambridge and one of my pals lives in Leicester, so I was in both places, and that story was a lot more interesting in my head, to be honest. But here in the 9th minute, you can see the domination from Cambridge United as they just score an unbelievable goal with a great passing move, rounded off by Tom Champion. I believe his name is Tom Champion. He scores in the 9th minute for the hosts in the snow, and barely anybody even cheered for that goal. Like, the crowd was very quiet, and that just goes to show how small of a club Cambridge are. No disrespect to them or anything like that, but in the 15th minute, Bellerin came forward for us. He had options pretty much everywhere, but he went for Knockaert, who crosses it in with his left foot, and the header from Chinaglia is tipped over by the goalkeeper, and it goes out for a corner kick, which I think Knockaert actually comes across to take again. No, it's Jack Grealish who was on the pitch. He plays it in towards Morgan, and Wes Morgan, the big man, scores with his first game of the season and gets his first goal of the season, which I think is a pretty good return for a centre-back. I completely played with a second string. Obviously, as you guys saw in the intro to this match, the team that I played, like Tyler Blackett and Morgan. I like Tyler Blackett a lot, but I was really disappointed to see that his potential was only in the low 70s, or was it even the high 60s? It's a very low potential for a guy who, in all honesty, has looked like a good player in real life for Man United. Like, I've quite liked watching him play. He's not amazing or anything like that, but for his age, he does play like a good defender, and you can definitely see his potential. And you could definitely say, even as an armchair football fan, that his potential should be higher than that. But whatever. Berahino picks the ball up in the 47th minute and passes it to Chinaglia, who hits it wide with a fairly decent shot. I quite like Chinaglia, but I don't think I'll ever sign him on a permanent deal. But just after the hour mark, we came forward again with Ruiz getting brought down on the edge of the area for a free kick, and it looked like a dive so much to Salva Ruiz. He's so bad at dribbling for some reason in the game, but the free kick would be taken by Matty James because we had no Gary Gardner, obviously, but he stood over it. I put it in the direction of the keeper to avoid the wall, and it ended up resulting in a goal as Wes Morgan goes and scores his second goal of the afternoon to get a brace in his first ever appearance of the season, which is pretty cool. I did say last season that it would probably be Morgan's last season, but I do wish that he, did better than he did. I wish that he didn't decline so quickly. But I brought on this lad, Blythe. I think his first name is Jacob. You guys will have seen him in squad reports. He's got very good heading according to his statistics. It's his only green stat is his heading, which is why I was really surprised when he fucking went and missed that open goal on the screen in the 79th minute from Matty James's cross. Maybe it was a heavy cross or whatever, but you'd expect a player with, like, he's got 70 something heading, I'm sure, but he somehow managed to miss that, which was just insane. But we come up to the 89th minute. Obviously at this point Cambridge are putting everybody forward, but Blythe dispossesses Nelson in defence and then plays it into Williams. That's one of our players that we scouted, one of the youth academy guys, and he's gigantic. Look at him, he's a unit on the pitch, but he has pretty decent stats, I think, for his age. But that was full time. We end the game with a 2-1 victory over Cambridge United, which I'll take any day of the week, and we find out that Arsenal rejected our initial bid for Wellington Silva, so I just went in and upped that bid to 2.7 million because they said they wanted 4.2, but his value is 3.1, so I offered 2.7. I thought that it made perfect sense in my head, and we did get to a contract negotiation stage for Thomas Ince, and we were trying to get this deal done before Sunderland came in and hijacked it and got him on a pre-contract agreement, because I can get him 6 months from now on a free, but we need a right winger now, and that's actually something that we go into our next game. This is away from home against Brentford, and this is in the semi-finals of the Capital One Cup, and that's the tournament tree, so a place in the final up for grabs against either Watford or Tottenham. And that's on the cards for whoever comes out the winner. But there were a few comments saying that I should sign people on pre-contract deals. The reason I haven't, obviously, as I've already mentioned, is because of the wages thing. Like, we just don't have the wages. I've never actually been at a club that's had such a low wage budget. I guess that sort of says something about the teams that I usually start with. But even with the likes of Wigan, I feel like I had a better budget than I do to deal with certain transfers as a Leicester manager or whatever. So that's why I haven't done that, and that's pretty much another reason why I haven't gone back in for players like Huddlestone, because he's worth 6.5 million. And he's on, what, 40, is it 60 grand? No, 45, no, I think it's 65 grand a week or something that he's on. So that's why, like, when people say sign this player, sign that player, that's why I haven't. I've also seen a lot of shouts for Joel Campbell. I won't be signing Joel Campbell. He went to Borussia Dortmund last season in the January transfer window, and as a result of that, he's no longer a realistic target for us. And I don't mean realistic as in pertaining to realism, with regards to the actual game. I mean, realistically, I cannot sign him in this game. But Brentford did get a red card, as you just saw, and that made it easier for us to score in the 45th minute through Jack Grealish, who played in the game against Cambridge, and he played in this game, and I thought it's because he's actually gone down. He was 66 rated, he came to us, he became 77 rated, and then he got injured, and now he's back down to 66 rated as Berahino makes it 2-0 in the 48th minute. But I wanted to give Jack Grealish a sort of a couple of like a run of games where he would be the centerpiece of the team and hopefully try and improve him that way. But an amazing free kick in the 53rd minute from Judge sees Brentford pull a goal back and try and ease their way back into the game, but it was a very, very good free kick. Having said that, I reckon Kasper Schmeichel would have saved it, and I think putting Hamer in goal for this game maybe was a mistake because of the fact that he's a terrible goalkeeper. Not in real life, he's a bit dodgy in real life, but I think he's good. He's just a bit mental, but he should have saved that in the game. So in the 78th minute, Brentford were still coming forward, and I was just like experimenting with the formation. I kept changing it every now and then just to see what it was like using other formations, but then Brentford equalised in the 79th minute, and I thought, like, I better just get my act together here. I came forward immediately after. Matty James, having a shot from distance, had to be tipped over by the goalkeeper and out for a corner kick, but we come up to the 90th minute inside stoppage time with Dave Nugent doing a fake shot to get round McCormack, who had been booked, and then crosses it into Berahino, who goes up, his header hits the crossbar, and it gets put into the back of the net by the Brentford player, but the game awarded it to Berahino and said that it was his goal. It was a definite own goal, like, there's no doubt about it. But if it gives Berahino any kind of a confidence boost or even a stat boost or a potential boost or anything, I'll be delighted with it, because that would mean that would be the second game this season where he scored a brace. But to be honest, he is such a useless player. Like, I know a lot of people would probably be mad at me for saying that, because a lot of people really like Berahino. A lot of people told me to sign him and everything, but honestly, I don't like him. He just couldn't finish a fucking Happy Meal, and it really annoys me. But after that, Wellington Silva, we got to the contract negotiation stage for him. Arsenal did accept our bid, so we had to alter the wage budget a little bit to get him in, and I made a bid for Mohamed Diame, offering them Matty James plus 1 million, because he's valued at 2.1, and I thought maybe there'd be a chance that they'd go for it, because sometimes the AI is stupid. And I made another bid for Tom Huddlestone just because I really want him. He's on 45 grand a week. His value is 6 million, but they say that I'll have to pay about 8 million for him. But Thomas Ince, our bid for him was accepted. As a result of that, I get him in on a permanent deal, and I completely cancelled all the Wellington Silva negotiations, which makes me wonder why I even showed them to you. But I picked Ince over Silva, so that's why I went with that. So we signed a right midfielder in this game. In this episode. He's going to make his debut in the next episode. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. That would be much appreciated. It's time for me to wake up. I've been El Dinero. Thanks for watching.